Hi, my name's Emma Bell, and at the Inside Shift I work with people to shift their mindset so they can be calmer, happier, more fulfilled. Right now, today, I want to talk to you about what I call DeTriggering. It's the confidence solution. It's the solution to that confidence trap that I was talking about in my earlier video. And remember the statistics that came from the 2010 Harvard study. 47% of the time we are lost in thought. That's nearly half of our waking lives. And 65% of the thoughts we have are either negative or redundant. That means that most of the time we live our lives on autopilot. Now, DeTriggering means that we have to come off the autopilot. Research shows that when we are in those negative or redundant spaces where we're thinking about events from our past or worrying about what might happen in the future, that the thoughts about the past events, when we're immersed in those thoughts, cause feelings which are as intense as they were when we originally felt them. So imagine what that's doing to you physiologically when you ruminate over past events. So that's something that needs to be solved. Let me give you an example. I was working with a coaching client just over the last few weeks, and he had an issue with a business contact of his, and every time he received an email from that business contact, it triggered lots of feelings which were not helpful, because in a past business relationship they had had a big fallout and it had been pretty nasty, and it had stayed with him. But this earlier contact had come back into his life and he needed to be at his best while he was operating around that contact. So we looked at the past event, we looked at what had happened, and as soon as he started talking about it, he got into the feeling of the past event. He got into the anger and the frustration and the upset. Those feelings were intense. And then we looked at how we could reframe that. What were the benefits? What had he learned? What could he even learn to be grateful for from those past events? And it didn't take long to find one or two things that he was truly grateful for, because if that hadn't happened, he would not have been in the position he was now, and he was in his dream job, as he put it. So that's the first step. What are the benefits of the thing that happened, and can you find something, one or two things to be grateful for? The second thing that we did was to look at the behaviour of this individual as a symptom of the pressures in their lives or the way in which their conditioning from their upbringing operated. And once he saw their behaviour as a symptom, so it wasn't conscious or intentional, but rather a subconscious or triggered reaction to the situation, stress, the environment they found themselves in, he was able to see that their environment, their upbringing, the pressures and stress that they were under, he could see absolutely the link between the behaviours that he struggled with and the cause of those behaviours. So the behaviours became separate from the individual. And then thirdly, because he had that understanding, he was able to tap into some compassion. And compassion ultimately allows us to de-trigger, to release the anger, the resentment, the bitterness, and the intensity of those past memories. So what I want you to do is look at where you have stuck thinking. Where do you have a relationship that triggers you so that you're essentially giving away your power? You're not being at your best in that relationship. So think about that. Number two, how specifically is it affecting you? Really think about that, because that will lead you to the answer of number three. How much on a scale of 1 to 10 do you really want to change your thinking? And it needs to be 7 or above, because if it's not 7 or above, you won't do these three things that will allow you or enable you to change your thinking. And number four, if you were to sit down and ask this person, what are the symptoms that caused you to behave in that way? What are the pressures you're under? Imagine what they would say, how they would excuse their behaviour without blaming you, but talk about their internal pressures. And what do you know about their life that will allow you to understand and even become compassionate toward them? Because that is the trigger release. And the happy ending is that this coaching client said to me that he attended a dinner recently where this business contact was present, and he was able to go up to the business contact completely de-triggered and put his hand on this business contact's back and give him a very warm welcome to the reception. So the past was released. If you want to get de-triggered, try these tips. Remember the saying, Nelson Mandela, resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. Share the video and I'll see you in a fortnight.